Well, I got a package coming. The FedEx man arriving. Must be my modem. Must be my modem. I hope he don't think I'm coming out there to his truck. I could meet him halfway, I guess. Thanks, man.
Thank you. All right, have a good one.
I might as well tell you about this modem. It's a Netgear modem that I ordered. Now I ordered through Dell, I ordered a new CPU, which was like $800 and something. And a new modem, because I'm constantly having to reboot my modem to get any kind of speed at all out of it. I figure mine's probably about wore out, so I ordered a new one. Dell had one on sale for $59. So I ordered that with my $800 CPU. And they sent me an email the other day saying it was no longer available. And it had been canceled. So I got on the phone and called Dale yesterday, or day before yesterday. Oh yeah, we can sell you that Netgear modem for $119. That's the only reason the other one was out of stock. They didn't want to let it go for $59. So I had to pay $119 for this Netgear modem. In the meantime, my $870-something CPU ain't nowhere in sight. Sometime between now and July the 7th. Ain't that a hell of a note? I gotta wait another whole month maybe for that thing. It'll be the last thing Dell ever sells me. I could have went to Best Buy and bought my computer, but I ordered it through Dell. I've never had trouble with them delivering a product to me before. I talked to some guy somewhere in India. Why they have to use somebody in some other country to run their business, I don't know. But Dell has been a real disappointment to me. Let's talk a little bit about the railroad today. Sitting here on the porch on a rainy day, watching the birds. It's very cloudy. You'd think it was late evening, but it's really just the middle of the day, middle of the afternoon. Starting to rain again. Talk a little bit about riding trains. Talked a couple videos ago about that hobo that rides trains around the country. I'm sure he gets caught a lot. He's probably done some jail time for it, but probably not much. But we used to ride the trains on a daily basis. We used to ride the trains in the train yard every day just to save a lot of walking. We had to work the train yards, various jobs in the train yard. And sometimes it benefited you to be able to catch up on a cut of cars and ride to the other end of the train yard, or to get back to where you parked your car, or to get back to the office, or just to negotiate your way around the train yard. If not, you'd walk yourself to death. But we rode them a lot when I was working in the receiving yard. I worked there a good three and a half years on the second shift. And the receiving yard was a good mile long, if not longer. And you had to walk down the side of the train to inspect it. You'd come back up another train if there was another one to inspect. And a different track, you'd work your way back to the north end. But sometimes you found yourself down at the south end of the yard and no train to come back on. Well, it was either deadheading, which means just walking for no reason, did head back to the north end, and many's the time I did have to walk back to get off on time. If there wasn't no hump engine to catch up on or no inbound train, I could snag a ride on the locomotive and ride to the north end. But I kind of enjoyed riding on cuts of cars. I mean, it sure did make matters easier. A couple of times I actually got killed doing that. If your foot slip off and you find yourself dragged up under the train in a heartbeat. I was still having nightmares about that every once in a while, but I enjoyed riding the trains. I've noticed this hobo shoestring or whatever his name is. He's got some pretty risky videos of him riding and standing up on the center sill. He talks like he knows all the parts of a train, but he don't. He's got a general understanding of what they're about, though. He said on there yesterday on one video I was watching, talking about knowing when the piston's out. You know it's not going to move. Well, that's not entirely true. Piston can be defective and sticking out, and they jerk that train, you find yourself run over. But I used to ride a lot on the derrick train. I was a member of the derrick crew, and I don't know if I got any pictures here of it or not, but the derrick train consisted of, I don't know, we had 15, 20 cars on that train. We had 2 coach cars, like old passenger cars, a flat car called a boom car for the derrick, which was the part the boom of the crane attached to, so it would be hovering over that boom car as we were moving down the tracks. And the boom car is really just a big flat car. I used to enjoy going out the end door on the coach car and walking out on the boom car when we're going down through the country. And we traveled all over Georgia in particular, sometimes up to South Carolina and other places to go to train wrecks. And I used to enjoy just sitting out there in the breeze, sit on some blocks or on the outriggers or something. No, not outriggers. We had some big wooden pads you could put out to put under the outriggers to stabilize the crane. That's what the derrick is, a 250-ton brown hoist crane. I would sit on one of those and watch people standing out there. Everybody would look to see the train go by. I'd wave at people. They'd usually wave back. I can still hear the sound of the crossing bells in my mind. And it sounds something like this. Ding, 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 ding. And this the crossing bells ringing as the train passes different railroad crossings. You can hear one coming up before you ever get there. Ding, 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 ding. Gets louder and then softer. Sometimes I'd stand in an open doorway. The top half of the door would open up of the coach cars and just stand there for a couple hours watching the countryside. You'd see deer standing out there by the track sometimes, various wildlife, people, different places. You get an entirely different view of the country from a freight train than you would, say, driving down the highway on a bus or something. You see all the backside of people's buildings. More of a rough type area. A lot of the countryside. But I enjoyed it. They would call the derrick, say we were going to a train wreck at Greenville, South Carolina. Well, they'd call us at home. We carried a beeper. This is getting way too noisy to be telling a story. We carried a beeper and they'd say the derrick is called. It might be 3 o'clock in the morning. You gotta roll yourself out of bed, get dressed, and drive to Inman Yard. And you would expect you to do that pretty quickly. When we got there, whoever got there first would go down and take the air down off the derrick, get it ready to go, make sure it's tied down and secured so it can't rotate. We get on that coach car, make a brake test. As soon as the locomotive came and coupled up, sometimes they'd stick a caboose on the back of us. And away we went, across the country. When we were going to a derailment, they highballed us all the way, get us there in a hurry. After a derailment, we were not important at all, and they would keep us in different sidings while they ran other trains to get the traffic caught up. Well, I might continue this story sometime. It's raining way too hard. I'm mostly just rambling today anyway. Appreciate y'all listening, but this is entirely too noisy. P. Pwalpar saying y'all have a good day. Keep your powder dry.